What's up, guys? Welcome back to another edition of 101 Sports and Cards. Always on Nathan Holloway, with me, Drew Trish.
What's going on?
So we're going to start on the NFL. The Giants released Daniel Jones. That happened before their game over the weekend. He signed with the Vikings today, so he went from a 2-9 team to a 9-2 team. He is set to start on the practice squad for the Vikings, but will end up being their backup. He's going to stay on the practice squad just in case there's another team that ends up having a quarterback get injured, because they can sign him off the Vikings practice squad. So I like the move. Do you like the move, since you're a Vikings fan?
It'll be a good backup if Sam gets pulled on the playoff one.
This is the perfect team that he could go to, especially if Sam ends up getting hurt. Their head coach, can't think of his name right now.
O'Connell.
Yeah. Kevin O'Connell, I believe is his name. He's very good with quarterbacks. I mean, nobody expected Sam Darnold to do what he did. And Daniel Jones, I will honestly say that it was the team. It wasn't him. Because, I mean, you looked at their game over the weekend, which we'll recap here in a second. And, they're bad. They're really bad. Aaron Rodgers says the Jets is his first option if he ends up playing in 2025. He has not actually decided. There were reports last week that said that he wanted to. Now it just came out that he does not know if he's going to play in 2025. The best thing that could happen is he ends up as a Viking and, completes the Brett Favre trial. Except hopefully he doesn't steal money later in his life. Allegedly steal money. Although I'm pretty sure he got sued multiple times over. So. Week 12 recap. The Browns feed the Steelers in a snow game on Thursday night, 24-19. Jameis Winston had 219 yards, a pick, and a rushing touchdown. Nick Chubb, he had only 59 yards, but he did have 2 touchdowns, including the go-ahead touchdown in the final minute of the game. Russell Wilson had 270 yards and a touchdown. This is a big blow for the Steelers, especially since the Ravens won, because the Ravens now lead the division. The Packers blew out the 49ers 38-10. This was never a game. Jordan Love, 163 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was not the story, though, because they barely had to throw, because Josh Jacobs had 106 yards and 3 touchdowns on the ground. It's not often you see the 49ers just play like they did on Sunday, because they didn't even look like an NFL team out there. Yeah, the amount of missed tackles on Josh Jacobs alone, let alone on the whole team. It should have been a bigger score, but Christian Watson doesn't know how to catch a ball. Brandon Allen, who started for the 49ers, he had 199 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. The Bucs demolished the Giants 30-7. Baker had 294 yards and a rushing touchdown. Bucky Irving had 87 yards and a touchdown. Their other 2 running backs, Rashad White and whoever their third guy is, they both had touchdowns. Tommy DeVito had 189 yards before he got hurt. He is questionable for Thursday. The Giants' locker room after the game was Kayvon Thibodeau wasn't very happy. Malik Neighbors took shots at Brian Daboll, the head coach. So the Giants, it's officially they're going to have to make moves, because Brian Daboll has officially lost the locker room.
Yeah.
Chiefs defeated the Panthers on a game-winning field goal 30-27. Mahomes had 269 yards and 3 touchdowns. Noah Gray, his second consecutive game with 2 touchdowns. Bryce Young looked really good in this game. This back-to-back weeks that Bryce Young has looked really good. He had 263 yards and a touchdown. I was hoping the Panthers would win, but because I picked them, it was a good game compared to what it should have been.
It shouldn't have been close.
Talking about a good game. Cowboys held off the Commanders 34-26. What a game this was. Cooper Rush, 247 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jaden Daniels, 275 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions, one of which came on the Hail Mary at the end of the game. He also had 74 rushing yards and a rushing touchdown. Terry McLaurin, 102 yards and a touchdown. That touchdown was an 86-yard touchdown with, I believe, 40-some-odd seconds left to bring them to within 1. Kicker missed. Austin Seibert missed the extra point to make it 27-26. They have put Austin Seibert on IR now. He was injured earlier in the season. He missed 3 kicks in this game. He missed a field goal and 2 extra points, which is basically why they lost. The Cowboys, still some questions there, because on the, I guess they didn't know that on a onside kick, when you recover it, you don't want to run it in for a touchdown. You want to grab it and go down so that you can just waste away the clock. instead of giving the Commanders a chance, which they almost had, on the Hail Mary, but it was intercepted. But a great game. Big blow for the Commanders. Big blow. The Dolphins blew out the Patriots 34-15. Tua stays undefeated against the Patriots. He had 317 yards and 4 touchdowns. Jalen Waddle, 144 yards and a touchdown. Drake May, 222 yards, touchdown, a pick. The Titans upsetted the Texans 32-27. Will Levis, 278 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Pollard had 119 yards and a touchdown on the ground. Stroud continues to struggle since the bye. 247 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. Nico got back in the end zone. He also had 92 yards in his second game back from injury. The Lions blew out the Colts 24-6. Jared Goff, 269 yards. Jahmyr Gibbs had 90 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground. Anthony Richardson still sucks. Vikings beat the Bears in overtime 30-27. Sam Darnold, 330 yards and 2 touchdowns. Aaron Jones, 106 yards and a touchdown. Jordan Addison was the main wide receiver, as Justin Jefferson was held to only 2 catches, thanks to Jalen Johnson's great defense. Addison had 162 yards and a touchdown. Caleb Williams had one of the more impressive games of his young career, 340 yards and 2 touchdowns. He kept the Bears back in this game. So did DJ Moore, who finally had his breakout game, 106 yards and a touchdown. If you're the Bears, this is a very good look for you. Just get you some momentum. I mean, you barely lost to the Packers on a blocked field goal. Now you barely lose to the Vikings after coming back to tie the game, especially how they came back in the final 2 minutes to tie the game. For the Vikings, they've struggled. They continue to win, but they've struggled in some areas over the second half of the season. The Broncos beat the Raiders 29-19. Bo Nix had 273 yards, 2 touchdowns, both of which went to Courtland Sutton. Gardner Minshew had 230 yards, a touchdown, and a pick before he suffered a broken collarbone, which will keep him out for the rest of the season. Aiden O'Connell will be the starter for now. They also have Desmond Ridder. 2 crappy QBs. Seahawks beat the Cardinals 16-6 to take the lead in the NFC West. Geno Smith, 254 yards, touchdown, a pick. Jackson Smith and Jigba, 77 yards and a touchdown. He's having a very underrated season that nobody's talking about. He's top 5 in receiving yards. Kyler Murray had 285 yards, a pick. Trey McBride, 133 yards. Trey McBride might be tight end number 1 in fantasy by the end of the season without scoring a touchdown, because he has yet to score a touchdown this year. The Eagles beat the Rams 37-20. Jalen Hurts, 179 yards and a touchdown, but all that mattered was Saquon. 255 yards, a new career high. He had 2 touchdowns. A.J. Brown had 109 yards and a touchdown. The Rams defense could not stop Saquon or the passing game. They couldn't stop anybody. Stafford, 243 yards, 2 touchdowns. Kyron Williams scored his first touchdown in a couple of weeks, and Puka had 117 receiving yards. The Eagles look much better since the bye. The Ravens defeated the Chargers on Monday night, 30-23. Lamar, 177 yards, 2 passing touchdowns and a rushing touchdown. Herbert had 218 yards and a rushing touchdown. J.K. Dobbins did get injured for the Chargers with a MCL injury, which is rough because with all the injuries he's had since he entered the league in 2020, he was actually having a really great year, and now he is week to week.
Quentin Johnson sucks.
He's so off or on. It's stupid how off or on he is. He either goes out and has like 10 catches and a touchdown, or can't catch a ball.
Yeah.
Week 13 preview, of course. Thanksgiving is tomorrow or today, whenever you're listening to this. If you listen to it on Thanksgiving, I know you'll all be with your family eating some turkey and watching football. But, yeah, first game on Thursday on Thanksgiving. Lions, Bears.
Lions.
I'm also going with the Lions. The worst game on Thanksgiving, Giants and Cowboys.
Cowboys.
I'm also going with the Cowboys. And the night game, the Dolphins at Lambeau to take on the Packers. I'm also going with the Packers. There is one game on Black Friday. It is the Raiders and the Chiefs on Amazon Prime.
Chiefs.
I'm also going with the Chiefs. The rest of these games will be Sunday, besides the Monday night game, which will be the last game we talk about. Chargers and Falcons.
I want to go with the Chargers if Quentin Johnson can catch the football, which he can. He's proven it. Like you say, he's very hit or miss.
I'm going with the Chargers. I do not trust the Falcons at all. Hopefully their bye week turns their season around a little bit, but it is not looking good in Atlanta. I know they lead the division, but my God, that division's straight trash. They're the only team over 500. Colts and Patriots. I'm also going with the Patriots. Steelers, Bengals. Steelers have to win this game. I'm going with the Steelers. Seahawks and Jets. I'm also going with the Seahawks. For the Jets, Breece Hall had knee pain today. He sat out of practice. He's questionable. So Braylon Allen could get the start. Either way, they have Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, so it doesn't even matter. Texans and Jaguars. I'm also going with the Texans. Cardinals and Vikings. I'm going to go with the Vikings, but the Cardinals are a very good team that nobody talks about just because the NFC West is just terrible for some odd reason. Titans and Commanders. I'm also going with the Commanders, but the Titans are a team that nobody wants to play down the stretch. They may only have 3 wins. I think they have 3 wins. They may have 4. I don't know. But they play teams extremely tough. And Will Levis has actually turned it around and looks like a solid quarterback in the NFL. Bucks and Panthers.
I'm going with the Panthers.
I'm going with the Bucks. The Bucks need this win. They need a win and a Falcons loss to tie for the division lead. Rams and Saints. I'm also going with the Rams. Eagles, Ravens.
I'm going with the Eagles.
This is the best game of the week. I'm going with the Eagles. The Ravens, they can stop the run. They can't stop the pass. Good thing for the Eagles, they can do both at a very high level. And the Eagles' defense has been great, and the Ravens just don't know how to use Derrick Henry. He didn't get any touches in the fourth quarter last week, which is just outrageous. He's your best player. No offense to Lamar, but Derrick Henry's your best player. The Sunday night game. That should be the Sunday night game, but the Sunday night game is 49ers and Bills. I'm also going to go with the Bills. I think the 49ers are going to have people back, but it doesn't matter. The Bills are the best team in the AFC. Browns, Broncos, Monday night. I'm also going with the Broncos. Moving on to the association, the Hawks were fined $100,000 for sitting Trae Young in an NBA Cup game. Kristaps Porzingis returned for the Celtics. They also blew out the Clippers in that game. The Celtics are such a deep team that it is scary whenever they're completely healthy. Some more people who are returning. DeJounte Murray is set to return tonight from his broken or fractured hand. So it's good to see him back. The bad thing is that the rest of the Pelicans team is injured. So it's going to be him and Brandon Ingram. Both Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal are set to return for the Suns tonight. Of course, they returned last night. Not tonight. Returned last night against the Lakers. When Durant plays, the Suns are 6-2. I believe they lost last night. I think. I don't know. I've been more on a college basketball kick right now. But they were 6-1 before he got hurt with Durant. They're 1-6 without him.
Yeah.
So Durant's a huge part of this team. And to get Bradley, I didn't even know Bradley Beal was hurt because I kind of forget Bradley Beal is even on the team. Chris Middleton participated in a 5-on-5 drills yesterday. He could return by this weekend, so this would be big for the Bucks, who have won 5 straight games and actually look like they're going to be a contender in the East. For the NBA Cup, the Rockets officially clinched a spot in the quarterfinals with their win last night. They're the only team that has clinched a spot so far. The Cavs still lead the East over the Celtics by 2 games. The Cavs are 17-1. The Bucks have won 5 straight. The Wizards have lost 12 straight games. They have to get rid of Kyle Kuzma. They are losing games because of Kyle Kuzma, because he chucks up the stupidest shots. I get that Jordan Poole does the same thing, but Jordan Poole is a team player.
Yeah.
Kyle Kuzma is not. They have to get rid of him. The Thunder lead the West at 13-4. The Warriors are 12-5. And my Spurs have won 4 consecutive games. In Wemby's last 5 games, he's averaging 34 points and shooting 41%, over 41% for 3. He is finally turning it on, and the Spurs, shockingly, are over 500. You know how many times we won our 10th game last night? You know how many games it took for us to win 10 games last year? 46. We're 10-8.
Wow.
It took us 18 games. Stephon Cat, hey, and great nickname. So, you know, Wemby's number 1. Stephon Castle is number 5. Came out with the nickname today. Well, it came out, the Spurs officially announced the nickname today, Area 51. Great nickname. And they have been absolutely going off. Stephon Castle is the steal of the draft, along with Jared McCain. Them two are top 2 in Rookie of the Year race, according to NBA.com. Moving on to baseball, Shohei and Aaron Judge were both named unanimous MVPs. Who would have guessed? The Dodgers signed Blake Snell to a 5-year deal. He has over $60 million of it deferred. I think it's time that the MLB has to have a talk about setting a cap.
Yeah.
Because this is getting completely outrageous. You think that for the Dodgers next season, their starting rotation could be Blake Snell, Kershaw if he stays, Flaherty if he stays, Roki Sasaki if they sign him. They still have Bobby Miller. They have Tony Gonsolin, who was injured. They have Dustin May, who was injured. They have Shohei, who will be coming back. They have more people that I'm forgetting.
Yeah.
This is out of hand. Completely out of hand. Imagine if they get Juan Soto.
Yeah.
They have to do something, but Rob Manfred is too much of a bitch to actually. Yusei Kikuchi signed a 3-year deal with the Angels. We were both wrong. The Angels have been the biggest spenders so far. I guess they're trying to win maybe like 3 more games. Because they're bad. The Reds land Brady Singer from the Royals for Jonathan India and Joey Weimer. I know you did not like the trade.
Yeah.
Give your thoughts on it.
I mean, I get we need pitching. I mean, Brady's team was not horrible, but you gave up all kind of heart of the team for it. You could have gotten Brady's team for just Joey Weimer. Joey Weimer, probably.
Brady Singer is coming off a career.
But India is a solid player when he's healthy.
Big if.
But at the second half of the season, he was one of the best players in baseball. He was. He had great stats. He's a leader of the team. He's the veteran we need. Well, you trade him off. Why? Probably because it's a money dump, too.
And because you have too many infielders.
Yeah. But
they're trying to get your boy Noel more playing time.
He needs it. But he can play third base. Or DH.
He needs to get back on the PEDs with how he played last year. The Rays are set to play 69 of their last 103 games on the road this season because of their stadium. Since Tropicana Field got absolutely obliterated by the hurricane, they cannot fix it. So, of course, they signed a new deal to get a new stadium built. Since they will be playing in a minor league ballpark, apparently, they have not officially said that to the MLB yet, who they have by the end of the week to actually declare where they're going to play games. The MLB has announced they will be playing 69 of their last 103 games on the road, which is absolutely terrible. I mean, the Rays aren't going to pack stadiums at home, but just think how much you're going to be on the road. Yeah. Like, that's terrible for the players and everybody else on the team. Brandon Crawford officially announced his retirement. Congratulations on a great career.
One of the best defensive shortstops I've ever watched.
Too bad he could not finish his career as a Giant.
Yeah.
Moving on to college football, Week 13 recap. Number 2, Ohio State blew out number 5, Indiana, 38-15. And as I said, Indiana is not good. They finally got it. Finally showed their true colors. Florida upsets number 9, Ole Miss, 24-17. It's a huge blow for Ole Miss, but according to the committee, it doesn't even matter because this committee is full of a bunch of dumbasses. That's all I have to say. Number 4, Penn State escaped Minnesota 26-25. Number 21, Arizona State defeated number 14, BYU 28-23. This basically eliminates BYU. Kansas upset number 16, Colorado 37-21. This will eliminate Colorado. Number 6, Notre Dame demolished number 19, Army 49-14. When you picked Army to win this game.
Yeah.
Oklahoma upset number 7 Alabama 24-3. This was a terrible game. Alabama didn't even look like they knew how to play the game of football. Jalen Milroe didn't know that he was supposed to be throwing to his guys and not the other teams. Same thing with Jackson Dart of Ole Miss at the end of the game. And Auburn upset number 15 Texas A&M 43-41 in 4 overtimes. It was a great game. So the new rankings, Oregon stays number 1. They hold the top seed in the playoff as well. So they would be number 1. Ohio State is 2. Of course, they will be the 5 seed as of today. Of course, it all comes down to conference championship games in a couple of weeks. Number 3 is Texas. They hold the 2 seed in the playoff since they are leading the SEC. Number 4 is Penn State. Number 5 is Notre Dame. Notre Dame, of course, cannot get a first-round bye because they not in the conference. Notre Dame should be above Penn State, and I hate Notre Dame with a passion. I said they were going to be bad. They are a better team than Penn State, and I don't know how you don't put them up. Number 6 is Miami. They would hold the third bye since they lead the ACC. Number 7 is Georgia. 8, Tennessee. Number 9, SMU. They're up 4 spots. Indiana dropped down 5 spots to number 10. Boise State would have a first-round bye due to them leading whatever conference. I don't even know what conference Boise State's in. The Mountain West. I believe they're in the Mountain West. They are 11. Clemson moves up 5 spots to 12. They're the first team out. Alabama down 6 spots to 13. They're the second team out. Ole Miss down 5 spots to 14. They're the third team out. The team that's in is number 16, Arizona State, who holds the final conference spot after their win over Colorado. So this week is I'm not even going to discuss the rankings because these rankings are terrible. The rankings just continue to be terrible. The fact that Alabama is number 13 and they have 3 losses. All 3 losses have been to crappy teams. I mean, they lost to Vanderbilt and they lose to Oklahoma. I don't remember who their third loss was. Their third loss was, when was it, to Tennessee?
Something like that.
I think the other one was to a ranked team. But Oklahoma is terrible. If you've watched Oklahoma play, they're bad. Vanderbilt, it's Vanderbilt. So they're always bad. Although they've been better this year. The fact that they are 13 and still in the race, they shouldn't be. Week 14 preview. It is rivalry week. It is the final week of the regular season, except for next week, I believe the Army-Navy sometime. I don't know if that's the next week or later. I don't know. Next week might be the beginning of conference championship games. I haven't looked that far ahead. But this is rivalry week. All I know is that this is the final week of the regular season of college football, and in rivalry week, anything can happen. So the big game is, well, there's multiple there's 10 big games. I had actually 11, I believe, because I added the game on Thursday night. There is a game tomorrow night on Thanksgiving, a huge game. Memphis and Tulane. Tulane is number 17. If Arizona State was to fall and not win the Big 12, Tulane, who leads the AAC, they lead that conference, they could sneak themselves into the playoff. So Memphis, Tulane, who wins?
Tulane.
Also going with Tulane. The Green Wave. The rest of these games will be on Saturday. First one is Georgia Tech and number 7, Georgia.
Georgia Tech.
I'm going with Georgia. Georgia Tech looks good, but their QB, he knows how to run the ball. He doesn't know how to throw. The big game, the best rivalry in college football, arguably the best rivalry in sports, Michigan, number 2, Ohio State.
Ohio State.
I'm also going with Ohio State. They will break the drought over Michigan. Michigan is just not a good team. Number 8, Tennessee versus Vanderbilt.
Tennessee. Vanderbilt's already got the upset.
I'm also going with Tennessee. A lot of people are picking Vanderbilt, but I agree. Vanderbilt already had their upset win over Alabama. Tennessee's a much better team. A huge game in the ACC, number 15, South Carolina, and number 12, Clemson. Whoever wins this game will play SMU for the conference championship.
I'm going with Clemson.
I'm going with South Carolina. I think South Carolina is a much better team. They got a huge win last week. Clemson, I know Cade Klubnik has played well in the second half of the season, but Clemson's not as good as they used to be. And there's a reason for that, because Dabo Swinney refuses to use transfer portal. And you have to in this day of age. Number 5, Notre Dame versus USC.
Notre Dame.
I'm also going with Notre Dame. Number 6, Miami versus Syracuse.
Miami.
I'm going with the upset. I'm going with Syracuse. Miami plays too many close games. They finally had their blowout win last week. It's going to be a close game. Syracuse is going to pull it out. The Iron Bowl. Unranked Auburn versus number 13, Alabama.
Auburn.
I'm also going with Auburn. Auburn played very well last week against Texas A&M. They will play very well this week against Alabama, and an Alabama team who they must win. If they don't win this game, they're done. They should be done anyway, but they don't pay me the big bucks to be on that stupid-ass committee. A little rivalry from the Pac-12 era. Washington and number 1 Oregon now in the Big Ten.
Oregon.
I'm also going with Oregon. Number 3 Texas versus number 20 Texas A&M.
Texas.
I'm also going with Texas, although Kyle Field will be booming down there at Texas A&M. Number 24 Kansas State versus number 18 Iowa State.
Kansas State.
I am going with Iowa State. So this is a huge weekend of college football. I know there's at least one conference championship game next week because I saw on ESPN they put that Boise State will be playing next week against somebody for that division or for that conference. So huge week, final week of the season before conference championship games. And as always, anything can happen. The definition of anything can happen is this college basketball season and especially Feast Week. We're going to start out with last week's games. Number 8, Alabama defeated number 25, Illinois last week. Baylor defeated St. John's. St. John's had a very bad week. We will say that. Nebraska upset number 14, Creighton. Number 11, Tennessee took down number 13, Baylor. Number 12, Duke took down number 17, Arizona. Number 19, my Wisconsin Badgers defeated undefeated Pitt to win the Greenbrier Tip-Off Championship. It was a great game. Georgia upset number 22 St. John's. Like I said, they had a very bad week. Kennesaw State. If you had Kennesaw State upsetting a top 25 team, you were on a lot of money. Kennesaw State upsets number 24 Rutgers. Kennesaw State is one of the worst D1 schools in America. And Rutgers has 2 top 5 NBA picks. The fact that they lost this game is embarrassing. Louisville. This should be down farther. I'm an idiot and didn't put it down. This game happened today. Louisville dominated number 14, Indiana. New rankings. As you know, Indiana's already 14. I don't go that far. So number 1 is Kansas. They stay number 1. Number 2 is UConn. They will not be next week. Number 3 is Gonzaga. They will not be next week. Number 4 is Auburn. 5, Iowa State. 6, Houston. Tennessee moves up 4 spots to 7. 8, Kentucky. 9, Alabama. 10, Marquette, which moved up 5 spots. Number 13 is Purdue, who fell 7 spots. Wisconsin is 15, up 4 spots. Baylor fell 4 spots to 17. Creighton fell 7 spots to 21. And Arizona fell 7 spots to 24. So for this week, Memphis upset number 2 UConn in overtime, 99-97 during the Maui Invitational. UConn, the back-to-back defending champions. They were the favorite to win the Maui Invitational. Well, guess what? They play in the 7th place game tonight because they not only got upset by Memphis, they also got upset by Colorado. The biggest game of the Maui Invitational, probably the biggest game of the week. Number 4, Auburn took down number 5, Iowa State. I'll get into Auburn because they're playing right now here in a second whenever I look up that game. San Diego State upset number 21 Creighton. Oregon upset number 20 Texas A&M. Number 9 Alabama took down number 6 Houston. Kansas defeated Duke in an absolutely amazing game last night. Even without Hunter Dickinson, who got ejected after kicking a guy in the face early on in the second half. Auburn took down UNC last night. West Virginia today upset at number 3 Gonzaga in overtime. So the best games of this week, one of which is happening right now, is Auburn versus Memphis, and I believe Auburn won this game. I'm going to tell you right now, the national champion is going to come from the Maui Invitation. It's going to come from one of these invitationals. You have the Maui Invitational, which has been going on for like 50 some odd years. You also have another one, the Bad Boy Mowers, whatever the hell, Atlantic crap, I don't know what they call it, and then whatever the hell Duke and Kansas was in. Basically, because you have some of the top teams. I'm going to tell you right now, if Auburn is not number 1 by the end of this week, there's a problem. Auburn is the best team in college basketball, and it's not even close. If you have watched Auburn play, if you've missed Feast Week so far this week, what the hell are you doing? Because it has been an amazing week for college basketball. If you have not watched Auburn play, watch them play. Auburn is undoubtedly the best. I know you can say Kansas. Auburn's the best team in the country right now. And right now, they would be my pick to win the title. So the best games this week. Wednesday night, or tonight, you'll already know two of these games. Number 20, Texas A&M, and number 21, Creighton. You have Rutgers and Alabama. tonight. And then on Thanksgiving, you have number 19 Arkansas versus Illinois, who fell out of the rankings. You will also have later on in the week with all the Bad Boy Mowers Invitational. That's what I'm going to call it. It's not called that. I just know it because of Bad Boy Mowers. Their championship is, I believe, on Saturday because they played the quarterfinal today. I don't know if they play tomorrow. I know they play on Friday. Other than that, it's a great week in college basketball. Feast week's always great. You have Feast week for college basketball. You have Rivalry week in college football. Nothing better than college sports right now. Nothing better. You know what is better, though? Maverick McNeely won his first PGA Tour victory at the RSM Classic. So congratulations to Maverick McNeely. I love the name.
Who's that?
Maverick McNeely. He's a golfer.
Wow.
He's good. Maverick McNeely finally got his first one.
Cool
Congratulations
name,
to him. It is a great name. George Russell won the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Nobody really cares about that because Max Verstappen clinched his 4th consecutive championship. Woo! Go ahead, write him down. He may be the GOAT. The Qatar Grand Prix is this weekend. Frankly, who the hell cares about the rest of the season? There's 3 or 4 races left. Nobody cares. The Las Vegas Grand Prix saw a dip of...
Dude, nobody was there.
They saw a huge dip. It was like 1.1 million last year. They barely hit 906,000 viewers this year.
The track sucks. Yeah. This racing's boring.
I didn't watch it.
You can't pass.
I didn't watch it. I turned it on after... I think I was watching college football. I was watching that 4 overtime game. And it came up on ESPN. And as soon as I saw Danica Patrick on there as a commentator, I turned that shit off. Why the hell is she a commentator? She couldn't even race NASCAR, or she could somewhat race IndyCar. I'm not gonna diss her on that, but let's see her put on doing a F1 car. I want to see what happens. I'd pay to watch it.
It's probably better because she has open wheel experience.
She also hasn't drove a car in like 5 years.
You don't forget how to drive.
Last time she drove a car, she didn't know how to drive.
Yeah, but it's different.
So the Qatar Grand Prix is this weekend. Who wins?
Esteban Ocon.
We're going upsets.
They've been good.
Damn it, I can't pick Logan Sargent because he's not in F1 anymore because he got fired.
Hey, Esteban Ocon, that team's been good.
Is it Alpine?
Yes.
I want to go with, he has to win. I mean, he's won 2 races this year, but George Russell has been, overshadowing him. I'm going with Lewis. People forget that Lewis Hamilton's even driving because he's just had a terrible season. Just wait till next year. Just wait until next year. When Mercedes had a bad couple of years. Just wait till next year when he's in Ferrari. And he actually shows Charles how to drive a Ferrari.
Charles can drive sometimes.
Carlos Sainz is a better one. That's what they're getting rid of. It's disappointing. You have anything else?
No.
That's all we have. Thank you guys for listening. Enjoy football this weekend. Enjoy Rivalry week in college football. Enjoy Feast week in college basketball. And, of course, enjoy and have a happy and safe Thanksgiving. And make sure you eat a ton because I know I will. Thank you guys for listening. Come back here next week. Peace.